Lecture number 3, Development of New Food Products as a Systemic Industrial Technology. We will talk about food products in the food supply chain, food raw materials and ingredients for industrial use, and the target consumer products. It is possible to realize the variety of forms of DFP process only by analyzing practical experience. In this course, we consider these forms as they are presented in large and small firms, in academic, university, and other research centers, in agriculture enterprises, and in the early stage of small enterprises. The described example concerns the entire food chain, that is, in the production of food raw materials, semi-finished products, and finished food products. They reflected all the variety of situation associated with the DFP process, and it is general characteristic, that is, the classical DFP system is as close to reality as possible. Food products in the food supply chain. The food supply chain covers the movement of food products from the moment of production of agricultural raw materials until the product reaches the consumer table. Thus, product development can refer either to the entire chain as a whole or only to its individual link. The developed product may be intended for processing by a food industry enterprises, a private entrepreneur, a professional culinary specialist, or an consumer. It can be an inexpensive raw material, a specific ingredients, and everyday finished products, or an expensive gourmet premium product. The product being developed can refer to both products from the main consumer basket and gourmet products. It can be innovative and have improved properties, or it can be identical to products already on the market, but be new for a given company or enterprise. Food raw materials. Food products, by their nature, are products of plant and or animal origin, that is, they have a biological basis. Consumers and therefore regulators now want to know what is in a food, so it is important to trace the origin of all ingredients. Food producers need to know not only the country of origin of raw materials, but also have information about local agriculture practices, whether the raw material is genetically modified, whether pesticides were used in its cultivation, whether the raw material is natural. The next generation of food developers will have full knowledge of the food chain, including from agriculture producers, fisheries, and agriculture, even if aquaculture, even if they have to work exclusively with processed raw materials and not with fresh agriculture products. The development of new food raw materials is a long process, often taking years. The development of cassava, for example, was carried out with the financial support of international research organizations. Initially, farm production of cassava of appropriate yield and quality was developed, followed by processes for drying cassava for sale to livestock enterprises, as well as methods for producing cassava flour for use and ingredient in the baking industry. The analysis of this experience proves the importance of coordinating R&D in the field of agriculture with research on the product itself, methods of its processing and marketing which are necessary for the development of food raw materials. Currently, due to the growing interest in the nutraceutical, functional, and environmentally friendly food products, there is an increase in the development of new food raw materials. Development of one of the first such nutraceuticals, a special dairy product derived from the milk of hyper-immunized cows that is claimed to reduce the pain and swelling of arteries. For several years of complex study was carried out, covering livestock farms, laboratories, and dairies. Clinical trials were also conducted to identify the medicinal properties declared during the marketing campaign. Sometimes the development of new product takes a very long time. For example, the development of a new variety of apples takes several years. First, the original varieties are genetically crossed, selecting trees that produced apples of the color, taste, and texture desired by the target consumers. Then, for several years, the conditions for growing this variety are developed and apple trees are grown in the required quantity for future orchards. This example of a lengthy process requires a clear understanding of the target market on the consumer who are willing to buy the product being developed. The process of developing a new fruit may turn out to be even longer, as was the case with wild kiwi brought to New Zealand. Many years passed before the appearance of a domesticated fruit that occupied its niche in the market. Even those food raw materials that seem easy to develop thanks to centuries of experience and a universal database, such as wheat or oilseed, turn into the final process product as a result of many years of development. In fish farms, the development of a new product also takes a long time since it is necessary to determine the most acceptable fish species, feed narrations, and storage methods after the product has matured. In the case of marine fisheries, the emergence of new type of fish as an end consumer product takes less time than in aquaculture, but also takes quite a long time in the course of preliminary research. Methods of catching and processing fish are studied to ensure the optimal quality of the product, and marketing research allows us to identify the most important consumer properties of fish and work out ways to promote this type of fish in a particular market. The development of new food raw materials includes achieving improved organoleptic and nutritional properties of the product, providing its health benefits and increasing shelf life. In the past, developers have lacked the synergy between R&D in agriculture and fisheries with research in processing and marketing technologies, but with the advent of products designed for specialized market segments and targeted consumer groups, the situation in this area has changed for the better. In recent years, food ingredients have become a very fruitful area for food developers. The transfer of a certain product from the group of food products to the group of food ingredients for industrial use can significantly increase its significance and added value. A good example here is the dairy industry, where the development of special milk protein has allowed a significant increase in the use of whey protein isolators. In the development of such products, raw materials are processed into a food ingredient with certain reproducible properties. The obtained ingredients provide an improvement in taste and consistency and stability of the product, health benefits, and so on. A good example of the transfer of simple food raw materials from the category of everyday products to the category of industrial ingredients is milk. The well-known whole and skimmed milk powder is currently used as ingredients that provide other food products, have a certain content of proteins, lactose, and fat. Such industrial products are sold to both large food enterprises and catering enterprises, bakeries, at supermarkets, small processing firms, individual entrepreneurs, and restaurants. The technological characteristic of food ingredients include the availability, easy of use, variety, and price, with the most important properties being composition, safety, and organoleptic characteristics. Technologists, specialists, and financial departments of firms are responsible for their purchase, and therefore technological characteristics and price are important for the market promotion of such products. Target consumer products. For the most part, food products are intended for certain categories of consumers, for retail and wholesale trade, as well as for the final consumer. Here, despite the importance of technological properties, aesthetic characteristics are often a priority. Targeted consumer products represent the most diverse group. It includes gourmet foods, everyday products, functional products, and products consumed on the go, from ingredients to ready-to-eat meals. The shelf life of such products can range from 1 hour to 3-4 years. For each of these categories described above, raw materials, products of industrial and target consumer purposes, the EPR process has its own characteristics, and both the strategy and the management of the EPR process differ. The development of a new fruit and vegetable product takes a long time, so in this case, its strategy will be long-term, while a new way of preserving fruits can be developed quite quickly. This will allow you to compete with another similar product on the market, and the strategy in this case is short-term and more flexible. There are significant differences between launching a new product platform and launching a new product on an existing one. In the first case, this is a long-term project, and in the second, it is a fairly quick event. And here are the references. First one, it is innovative planning of scientific development in the food industry in Russian language, functional food products and their development. Third one is modern technologies of functional food products, and the food lab better home cooking through science, and the flavor matrix. You can find all these books in our library. Okay, thank you for your attention. For the consultation, you can come to the auditorium 205, and here you can write my phone number to if you have some questions. Okay, thank you for your attention.